Hello, hello, hello. All right, going to do some streaming today. Um, so, yesterday I left off trying to get all this database stuff connected to Lovable. Um, if you haven't been watching, what I have is now I'm hearing my own echo because I forgot to mute myself in my preview. There we go. Um, so I have my own self-hosted version of Coder, which allows me to create my own sort of dev containers. And what I was trying to do is come up with a way for Lovable, which is sort of an AI app building tool, to connect to my server so I can get it connected to the database. And all that seems to be working, although I had to do a lot of stuff off screen yesterday and most of this morning. But I'm going to close all this out now, and we're going to go down a new rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole I want to go down is trying to set up a plugin called Cline into Visual Studio. And the trick is going to be I'm going to be doing this with Visual Code Server, which is what Coder uses for the web version of Visual Studio. Like this right here is just a web browser to a workspace that I have, and yada, yada, yada. So let me close out Lovable. We don't need you today, and I'm going to close out this. And what I'm going to do is I'll leave that container running. I'm going to go and make a new workspace, and I'm going to continue to use my Node workspace template. A lot of these templates I'm still trying to figure out, but what I want is I want to call this Cline. Is that how you spell Cline? So yeah, CLIE, Cline test. Oops. And the goal of what I'm going to try to do here is I want to get, I'm going to install the Cline plugin. I'm going to install, I'm going to try to connect it up to an AI service and then see if I can get code hinting in a Visual Studio Code on my web server. Long story short. So let's create this workspace, and I'll just leave it as a Node workspace. At least this way I have some code in here. And what this is going to do is, I don't know why I'm getting those errors, but I'll come back and deal with that another day. What's going to happen is that now Coder is going to create a dev environment, which will basically just be a container that I've told it to use Node with. If I go back into the settings, you can see that I have some options here that I've created that allows me to choose which version of Node I want to use. I have some startup commands. I can also make this public or private. And then there's some other stuff like the password for what the, if I want to have the privacy on and stuff like that. So let's go back to this. We'll cancel out of this, and I'm going to open up a code server. So I was following a tutorial, or I wouldn't even say following a tutorial really. I was using this, I found this video that basically walks you through how to use Gemini 2.5 Pro with Cline. And I haven't really set up any of this stuff before. I've been building up towards this stage where I finally have my own. I have servers at my office that are going to be able to run AI. The computer I'm actually on, well, technically Code Server is running off of an M4 Mini, but the computer I'm running everything on and streaming from has a 3090 in it. And my goal is to start weaning myself off of using ChatGPT and moving into stuff where I have a combination of self-hosted and maybe some online AI services when I need some more horsepower. So let's do this. Right now, all this is running in the background, fine. I'm going to go into the plugins and I'm going to look for Cline. So the thing about Code Server is that it's not actually connected to the same repo as Visual Studio Code. So for example, I don't have Copilot. Copilot won't work because this isn't running on Microsoft's build. There are ways I have hacked around to get it to work, but I'm going to actually, let me just hide that guy. I don't really want to see that. So I'm going to start with Cline. So let's do this. So basically, long story short is that people will move this stuff over to this other open source repo, this marketplace. And what I want to do is, before I do this, I want to make sure that I want to see VS Code extensions Cline. I just want to see who the author is of Cline here. Yeah, see, so this is where things get a little bit weird, because it looks like whoever this person is the one who copied over Cline, but I don't have the actual Cline repo, and who knows what has been modified in this. So let me see, maybe there's a way. I've done something like this in the past where version history, let's see, this is 3.8.5. And this version is 3.8.5. Whatever. We're going to roll the dice on it. Let's see if I can get this up and running. So we're going to install this. Do I trust this publisher? No, but we're going to do it anyways, because why not? I mean, theoretically, it's in its own container, so I'm not really that concerned with it. And let's close this out and let's see what we want to do. So I can do all kinds of tasks. Sign up for a free account to get started, or use an API key that provides access to models like Claude. So we're going to create an API key. What I haven't done yet is, let me go, I want to do a Gemini. How do I create a Gemini key? So we'll make a new web tab here. And let's see if we can sign up for Gemini. So interesting. A lot of this is a lot of these are coming up for Rolly, which is funny because this is an audio company. They do some really interesting keyboards. It's funny. I have one of these. I have a smaller version of it. But it's weird that that's coming up. I guess it must have the same thing as Gemini. So get a Gemini API key, Google AI for developers. So get a Gemini key, build with the Gemini API. Sure, I consent. I do not want to receive emails. And let me see this. This is the API quick start. Let's generate out an API key. And then we're going to feed this over to Claude and see what happens. I'm hoping that this is just one of those very rare situations where it just actually works. Let's see. Help improve Cline. No. 3.8. No. What can I do for you? All right. Auto approve. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Auto approve. Auto approve allows Cline to perform the following actions without asking for permission. Please use the caution. Only enable if you understand the risks. Read. Allow access to read any file on your computer. Edit files. Execute safe commands. Use the browser. Allow the use of configured MCP servers which modify the file system or interact with APIs. Sure, you can have, at this point, honestly, you can just have access to everything, because I am not I'm not concerned, because I already have this in its own little Docker container and it's insulated. Cline will automatically make this many API requests before asking for approval to proceed with the next task. I'm going to limit this down to 10. And I think that should be it. I guess there's no save, right? Cline, this is the history. This is servers, open editor, account. I'm actually going to sign up for Cline off screen. And let me see, Cline account. I'll make a new account and then just log in this way. So Cline ton of, I feel like I already have an account with them. If you already have an account, we'll log you in. I think, let me see, sign up with Cline, open. I should be logged in with GitHub, so we'll just use my GitHub authentication. There we go. Sure, authorize. Oh yeah, you're gonna redirect me to VS Code, but that's never going to work. So let's hit done, and let's refresh the browser. Oh, that's fun. It can't, because I'm using this, it doesn't know how to redirect back to VS Code because I'm not using VS Code. So I don't know if I can actually log in with Cline, but all right, that's a problem for another day. Model. Customize. Use a different model plan for ACT models. Allow anonymous error and usage reporting. All right. So what can I do? All right, so I already have a simple server here. What I'd like to do is have it create a, I would like you to create a new, a new hello world example by modifying my server JS, and I think I have an index HTML that let's just see what it does. All right, so no auth credentials found. So I'd like to create a task. So let's retry approve. So I have a feeling like I didn't connect this API route key correctly. Let me see. This is Gemini. Didn't I? Can I copy this key? And let me see if I just put this in the right place. Server. Supports image does not support computer use. Let's retry this and see if it does anything. So I approve this. Okay, I have content. Now I just need to read the thing. I approve this. And all right, I actually like that this shows me a diff between the two things. So let's save. And now this file has been updated. Now I will modify the server to log a message to the console when the server starts. So let's save this. And I want to run this command for node server.js, and it's going to give me an error because it's saying that it's already in use. So now this is my own problem, but let's see if Claude can, or let's see if Claude can actually correct this. I am getting an error because an old instance of server.js is running on port 8080. So let's run this command, and let's rerun this command to make sure that nothing is found. Client has a question. Could you please kill the process that is running on port 8080? Proceed. Command not found. Command not found. Command not found. I think part of the problem is this image Um, I wonder, let me see if I can just kill the port forwarding and if that would solve the problem. I don't think that's going to, but. All right. So I feel like I want to fix this in my template where it doesn't automatically just try to run this in the background. Because then what winds up happening is that whenever I need to redo the whenever I need to redo or rerun the server, I don't know how to stop the initial server. So new terminal to edit. Let's see, kill terminal, join terminals, split the terminal. Oh, this is just the normal. Oops, I don't want this. How do I get rid of this terminal? Cline. All right, that didn't work. I am on a lightweight node Docker container. So what other options do I have? All right, so kill command run. All right. I actually really like that this goes back and it remembers that it needed to go back and rerun the server. Hello world has started. Let me open this up in the browser. Hello world is a simple example. And then the next thing that I want to do is going to be testing it externally. So let me copy this. Let me create a new thing. This is going to be coder. And we're just going to replace SQL test with Cline test. And Cline is asking me to authenticate, but that shouldn't be. I swore that I had turned the workspace. Where's settings, parameters? Oh, make public true. Okay, right. All right. So let me do that. I'm going to restart the workspace. And then what this is going to allow is that once this is up and running, everything is installed, yada, 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 I'll be able to access this from my external URL, which is where coder Cline. Perfect. All right. So I've been able to test that all this stuff works. That's good. What I need to figure out, though, is reload the window. I'm going to go back and look at this tutorial, and I want to see where did they get a free... I want to see where he gets this free... Hold on a second. Let's see. Where do we go for... All right, Visual Studio, fine. Cline, great. All right, it's telling me to install it. Fine. Done that. So now I'm waiting. I'm watching a tutorial off screen to see how this works. Okay, it was on Open Router Gemini Pro. So let's do this. I want to create a new tab, Open Router. It was Gemini what? Gemini 2.5. All right, so Open Router Gemini Pro 2.5, oops, 5 experimental. All right, so Open Router, perfect. This is free. I want to, let me go make a new account. I don't think I have an account for Open Router AI. let me go see how I need to log into this off screen. Sign in. Oh, I can use my, well, I'd rather use my email, so. All right, let me go sign up for an account. New password, agree, save, continue. All right, I'm just authenticating this off screen so that I can have a sign up unsuccessful due to failed security validations. Please refresh the page, try again, or reach out to support. What? Sign in. No account found this default. Please try again. Sign up. That's weird. Why is it not letting me sign into an account? All right, verify email has been sent. Let me just go check my email real quick. Sent me a link. Verify this, and I am now logged in. Okay, so let me just copy over this password, and I will log in over here. This is for Open Router. So sign in. This will be my email. Continue. Password, continue. My password is incorrect. That's not right. Manage account. Security. Update password. Update. And save. Huh. All right, I screwed up the password with one password. I hate when this happens. Sometimes it creates it must have created a new, let me just do this. Forgot password. No. Let me send myself an email, and then I will just put this code back in and log myself in, and I'll change the password later. Verification code. The joys of setting up new accounts. Okay, so now we are authenticated, I should say, and I want to create a new key. So let me go back and see in this video what they did to, where they went to select that new key. All right, so I guess this is, click here to create your own key. I don't know what, let's do, eliminate routes requests to the best providers that are available to handle this with fallbacks. Sample code and API for Gemini Pro Experimental. Let's create this key, create a new key. What are we calling this one? This is just Gemini Pro Unlimited, not free. So let's try this out. We'll copy this key, close this. And now if we go back to here, now what we want to do is what project was I in? Code server. Oh, you know what? I think like what happened was I reset the entire server. It disabled Cline. So let me go and install Cline. Let me also profiles, extensions. I thought there was another way that I can authenticate, but that's fine. So, all right, we've installed Cline. Use your own API key. We're going to use Open Router. We're going to install this and let's go. Okay, so now that we have this up and running, what do we want to build? Let's see if we can have it just build a very basic note-taking app. I want you to create a very basic taking app. I want all the notes to be stored on the file system as Markdown. What else do I want it to do? You need to create a CRUD API to manage working with notes. The end app should list all local notes. Let you create, read, update, and delete notes. All right, let's see what it does. Insufficient credits. Add more using OpenAI. Now, I thought this was free, but maybe free doesn't mean free. Let's create a new tab. Go here and look at credits. Why does this free key now ask me to add credits? I guess it's not so free, huh? I wonder why. Let me see. Let's do a quick search. Why does Open Router ask me for credits when using free model keys? Open Router free models, not free. I've seen that Open Router has published this message today for the free models. This means that if you did not add the free suffix to your model ID, your request will now be charged. However, I've selected the OpenChat 3.5 free model, but it seems to not be free. Is there something that needs to be fixed? AI engine strictly takes parameters for requests to Open Router, sends them using free models. So it's because the reference is already set to OpenChat. OpenChat's fetching the model list. It's possible that the token prices are null, but the API service may have a cost, which would be the Open Router side. AI engine itself is completely free to use and doesn't add transaction fees in any way. Interesting. So in order to use this free thing, credits, settings, I kind of want to understand models. To be using user results. Wonder what I need to do for flagship models best. I wonder what I need to do in order to get past this this little problem, because I don't want to pay for this right now. Ranking docs free. The irony is not lost to me that it's actually using a chat AI to do its own help. Free model access. All new users receive a small free allowance to test Open Router. There are free model variants identified by the free suffix. Free model limitation. Free models have low rates. Limit 200 requests per day per total across model. No typically suitable for production use. You can identify free models by looking at the free variant suffix. Important note, if your account has negative credit balance, you may see errors when trying to use free models. Adding credits to put your balance above 0 will allow you to use free models again. All right, so that's fine. All right, so this is now Open Router. I'm just looking on my own computer right now, or sorry, off screen, so that I can set up billing, credits, open credit portal, add a payment method. All right, let me set up this. I'll set up like one credit or something and just see what happens. I'm just putting in my credit card information, which I'm sure everyone would like to know on the stream. All right, let's add this. All right, so return to Open Router. So credits, excuse me, API keys. Jesse Freeman. Just putting in New York, just putting in my address here. What is my zip code? I have a new zip code, so I need to. Oh, you know what? Actually, I should just use my office address. What is my office address? Map. I have a new office, so I have yet to memorize its address. Here we go. Pine Street. Oh, I see. It needs my billing address. Oh no, go back to the... What did it just do? Add a payment, update information. I just have to put in my old billing address because I haven't updated my state, New York, billing address to the new address that I moved to. So, all right, here we go. Now I have all the billing information. Great. I want to add credits. Full name. Jesse Freeman is my name. Let's update. Select the payment method. Can I add one credit? Between 5 and 25,000. So let's just do 5 credits and send me an invoice. Whatever, I don't need an invoice. Enable auto top up. Nope. Manage your subscriptions. All right, let me purchase. Your payment is processing. Credits will be added to your account when it completes. Please check back shortly or try reloading the page. Okay. All right, I now have $5 worth of credits. I don't know how long that gets me, but it is better than nothing, I guess. Let me see. Go to the credits page. $5 worth of credits. Great. Now let's see if this works. Use your own API key. Open route. I need to go get the API key back. Edit key. Oh, can I not? Can I not recopy this key because I've created it? Oh, shoot. All right, let me delete this key and start a new key. What was that, Gemini? Why can't I type in this into this thing? Gemini, what was it, 3.5 free? Ugh. All right, whatever. Open router Gemini 2.5 Pro experimental. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's create a key. No, wait, I did this wrong. I need to go here. API, create the key, create a new key. This is what was it? Gemini 2.4 Pro. Free. Create. We'll copy this key. I'm going to write this down somewhere so I don't lose it. Notes. And oops. Let me make a new file, and this is Gem 2.5 Pro free key. Okay, now at least I've saved this key, because I think every time I restart my workspace, it's going to ask me to do this all over again. Server. So let's retry this command. No auth credentials found. Huh. So I think this is going to be the problem that I have, is that I can't authenticate. It won't let me go back to it won't let me go back now to finish the authorization. So how do I authorize Cline while I'm in my dev environment? No. Huh. That's not good. I wonder, let me go back here and see if anyone left any notes on this. Discord Cline. I wonder how features, settings. Is there a way that I can path to Chrome execute? The path to Chrome execute for browser use function. You have not set the extension will attempt to find and download automatically. Enable checkpoint. I'm just trying to see if there's any other way of authenticating with this in the browser. All right, let's see. How to authenticate Cline VS Code plugin with oh, I bet you it's the open thing. All right, how do I authenticate plugin in code server? Cline. Learning process like starting this. Cline cannot be signed in when using VS Code Web. Here we go. For now, this won't work for VS Code running in web interfaces. We are adding the option for entering an API key once we have API key management in place. This is 3 weeks ago. How could they close this as complete if completed? So wait, does Cline now have an API key? Did I? Dude, just open up Cline. What's going on here? All right. Why can't I find Cline's website now? Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Whoops, I had this before. Okay, here. So let's log in. Let me see if I can get, is there an API key or something? So why would they mark this as complete? I am using coder and code server, but I'm unable to authenticate. All right, I'll at least file a comment. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to try was, I don't know if I necessarily need Cline authenticated. I definitely don't want to keep buying things. Open router, get open router API key. This key is stored locally and only used to make API requests from this extension. All right, so let me put back in the API key. Let's go. Want you to build me a simple note-taking app that uses markdown files for each note and a CRUD API. No auth credentials found. Why am I getting this error? Shouldn't... Let me see here. Enable extended thinking. And settings. We've gone through all this. I wonder if I just use LM Studio, and let me see if I can get something up and running locally with this and LM Studio. I haven't had a chance to configure LM Studio yet, so I wonder if there's a download one to get started. I want to find models. And what I want to look for is Gemini. Wait, what happened to my? What happened to LM Studio? Here we go. All right, I want to look for Gemini. All right, sorry, I just realized that I didn't have LM Studio in the screen. So I want to look for I'm just going through this thing real quick. I don't think Gemini is available here because I think that's still proprietary. So let's look for what is a good coding model? Why don't we do this? I just want to get to a real shit, how do I get out of this? Let's do a just simple test. We'll just download this model and give it a test to see what happens. I already have all the other requirements. I just need to install this model and we'll go from there. And I want to just go, while this does its thing, there was a way, I think because now it's, that window is there. There we go, hardware. So, all right, so I have my 3090 ready. I have 95 gigs of RAM, 24 gigs of VRAM, and I should be good to go here. So let's see. Once I download this model, I'll update LM Studio. And then at least this won't be a total loss. If I can just connect LM Studio to this, then at least I feel like I've accomplished something. I have to look into more about the Claude stuff and how to get it to authenticate. So let's update now and relaunch to apply the update. So if you're not familiar with LM Studio, it really is, it's a great way to run LLMs locally. Did it not load back up though? There we go. Okay, so select the model to load. We'll do this model. And one thing that I haven't done, but I've sort of taken a look at it, is I haven't really set up the tell me a bedtime. I just want to see how fast this is. All right, so it's at 99 tokens a second, which isn't bad. What I want to do is turn this into a server now. And let's see. Settings, presets. Now I just got to go through and figure out where the I don't remember where they put go to. How to host. Let me just do this here. Whoops, I don't know what I did there. Oh, here we go. Ironically, I think I just accidentally clicked on the documentation for the right thing. So you can serve elements with open compatibility endpoints, elements with REST API. Okay, so let me see, where is developer? The local server is not running this model identifier. Where do I start? The local server. All right. And now what I need to do is just figure out what the the base URL and the model name. So let's go here, and the model identifier is this, and the IP address is this. Let's hit done and retry it. Please check that Elm Studio developer logs to debug when it went wrong. You may need to load the model with a larger context length to work with Cline's prompts. Larger context length. How do I get that working? Developer. So these are logs. This model is detected to have been trained for tool use. Whatever. Fine. Size in this domain arc. Llama trained for tool claims. Interface load context length. All right, let's set it to 20,000 and see what happens. Reload to apply the changes. I definitely have the memory that I don't really care about. I have more than enough VRAM, especially with a 8B model. So let's retry again. You may need to reload. Please check the LM Studio developer logs. Just-in-time model activated. Why does this not work? File logging mode. So let's clear this. Let's make a new request. And so I didn't get any, nothing got hit here. Curly UR. Failed to connect to localhost. Oh, I'm an idiot. The reason why this isn't working is because the localhost is actually my NAS, which is hosting all of this. What I need to change this to is going to be the IP address for this computer. So let me see here. I am on this network. Manage address. All right, so let's try this again. But what I want to do is I'm going to change, instead of localhost, I'm going to use my current computer's IP address. And then that should at least see if we can connect to it. Well, it didn't give an error. It's not really doing anything either, but let's do this. I'm going to change this And let's go back into configuring. And let's change the address to this. Done. And let's retry. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. I don't know if it's supposed to take this long for the API request, but it should work. Well, that API request goes in the background. I'm going to try connecting to something in the background here. All right, so I did that, and the request locally came up. I'm just testing this in the browser. Let me see my settings. Let me see if I can get my regular IP address. I was using my virtual network IP address. Network, Ethernet. Here's my IP address. So let's see if I can hit this remotely. Yes, it didn't like that either. Unexpected endpoint or method. So I think this is the problem that I'm going to have to wind up dealing with is how do I expose this LM Studio to my network? So let's do this. Let's create a new tab. How do I connect to LM Studio running on a different computer in the same network? It was running the same machine, so you cannot run with a network. If you have enabled cores, don't forget to start the server when you open up Elm Studio. Here's how it should look. For local LM. How can I remotely access? Let's see. You need to be able to remotely access. That you have to start a local LM server. Then you need to use port forwarding in your router to expose it. You might know that you probably have a dynamic assigned IP. That's if you then chat with it that way, pretty easy to set up, and they are free. The advantage of this is that you don't have to do any port forwarding or VPN setup. Then all done. Access your LM anywhere with the URL the program prints. I wonder. Oh God, this is. I wonder if I can run LM Studio in Docker. Running LM Studio locally in Docker. Well, that didn't give me any answers. Wait, the model I chose to be a research I found it. It's called Llama GPT. It's exactly what I wanted. As time permits, I'll work on this cloud setup. CUDA. A self-hosted, offline ChatGPT-like chatbot powered by Llama 2, 100% private, no data leaving your device. Right. Well, okay. This is a whole other rabbit hole I've not been ready to go down, which is setting up all these local LM stuff to work. Let me see if Please check Elm Studio developer logs to debug what went wrong. You may need to load the model with a larger context. Failed to connect to port refused. All right, let's do this. Let's open up ChatGPT and have it help me figure this out. Okay, so I need help connecting to my Windows PC running LM Studio in server mode from my Mac NAS that is running Coder and Docker workspaces. I want the workspace to be able to reach the PC. Can I use the computer's IP or 0 tiers IP instead of, let me see, what was the IP that it originally wanted us to use? That was localhost. And this is running at here. Which is what LM Studio is serving from on my PC. I mean, most of the time this is just what I wind up doing anyways, which is just using ChatGPT as a search engine, because while it doesn't give me the most accurate results, at least it points me in a better direction than just randomly reading stuff on Reddit. LM Studio is configured to allow connections from external IPs. Not are both your Mac NAS and Windows PC on the same network? Are they connected via 0 tier? Do you want to access Elm Studio through HTTP API or Web UI from the Mac NAS? This will help determine. They are on the same network. They are also connected on a private network with 0 tier. And I'm trying to get the Cline plugin, which is running in a Docker workspace with code server on my Mac, to be able to communicate with LM Studio on my PC. I feel like for the past month, this is all I've been doing is just trying to figure out port forwarding and all kinds of other not fun stuff. I forgot. I told it to do research. This is going to take forever. I wonder if there are any other settings in here that I need to tweak. Serve on local network. Bet you $5 this was the problem. Excuse me. Yep, here we go. I figured it out. So that was the key right there, which was I just needed to go into the settings and enable the serve on local network, and that fixed the problem. So let's close this out, and now let me think through Client's question, can you please provide more details about the database schema and API endpoints for the note-taking app? I don't want to use a database. I just want to have a folder on the file system that contains all of the markdown notes. All right, let me see if I can figure out. What I'm curious about is that will this actually let me do local development? Because the stuff I've been dealing with wait, what is going on here? Client's changes. Let's see. Based on user response, I see that the notes folder has been created successfully. Has it? That looks like a file to me. Based on user response, you see the notes folder has been created. Now let's think about which tools are relevant for modifying the CRUD. Now let me think about parameters which are included in this tool. What I want to do is hold on a second. Before you redo the server JS, it looks like you created a notes file and not a notes folder. All right. Cool. It's still not doing what I want it to do. But you know what? Wait, based on the user, I see the notes folder has been created successfully. Wait. Cancel. Let's do this. No, I don't want to save that. I want to cancel this, and I want to go back here, and I want to delete this file. Okay. So, I don't know, like this is, I mean, maybe this is just not a great model, but this is the kind of stuff that I see. Like, I see people online who do these videos, and they're like, oh, I just tell it to do this thing, and it just goes off and builds me an app. And I can never get that to reproduce. Let's clear this. We don't need this terminal anymore. Let's go step by step, starting with creating a notes folder. Let's just see if it can make a notes folder. It really hates making a folder, huh? Let's delete this. Let's try this a different way. Instead of using Markdown, can you just use local file storage for the notes and create the front end for managing notes with a CRUD GUI. Let's try a different approach. Says last tool was not used successfully. I don't understand. It wants me to approve this, but I can't. The approval is not. Sure. I was going to let it do its entire thing. All right. save. I do like that I can go through piece by piece and see what it's building and then verify it if I wanted to actually save it or not. Save. Run the command. Well, hold on a second here. So it clearly screwed up. There is no code in the server JS file. You deleted it all. What is it doing? Based on user's response, conversions. Please restore it manually and try again. All right. I have restored the server JS file, and now I want you to wire it up so there is a front end for the note-taking app and the script.js code you wrote. Can you please describe the desired front-end interface for taking notes? What features do you want it to have? By default, it should list all notes, then let you create new notes, edit existing notes, existing notes, and rename/delete notes. So let's save this and see what it does. Replace in file added necessary JavaScript code. Wait, what did I just do? What just happened? Did the whole thing just crash? Resume task. All right, I guess I guess I was waiting for this thing to actually execute everything. I love how it just deletes everything. Or maybe it's rewriting. All right, here we go. Now this is looking a little bit more promising. Let's save these changes. Why does it like write all this stuff out and then delete everything? Let me save this, and I'm just going to keep saving it and seeing what happens. Wonder if it's getting stuck in a loop where it just decides to keep deleting stuff and then rewriting it and deleting it and rewriting it. So, yeah, here we go. Reject the changes. Save. Now I want you to wire up the script.js so I can see the app running on the index HTML. Let me actually run this real quick. Clear. And fix the server.js file error I get when trying to run it. Cool, it didn't copy and paste. All right, let's see if it can now fix its mistakes. This is, I think it's going to get stuck back into this loop again where, yeah, now it wants to delete that whole thing. And it's rewriting this whole thing again, but there's nothing that needs to be changed. Well, this is not a solution right now to replace Lovable by any means. So let's see if we can get it to identify its problem. Start a new task. When I run server.js, I get the following errors. Now as we recursive view all the files in the directory, let's approve. Lowering my standing desk. Let's run this command and see if this works. Let's approve. Let's save. And let's save. Using those, however, the resulting response is an HTTP module not imported. So let's save. Well, I'm not very impressed with this model, and it's hard to tell if this is Cline or something else. Oh, something's running. Socket hang up. Cool. Here we go. Test note my notes. Go here and create the note. All right, some progress. How do I create a new task now? All right, so what I want to do is now I want a way to see all of the created notes and create a new note. Basically, just task environment that I understand. First, I will analyze the current working directory contents to see if it's approved. Approve. Let's rerun the server. And let's go to, I'll just open up this browser again and change the port number. 8080. Test to create note. So I don't know, it like really isn't that great. I mean, I see where this is going, and I'm sure if I connected this to a better model, when I go to create a new note, I get the following error. Well, this thing does is I want to find what is the best coding model to on LM Studio. Best models. Let's see what its best models are. Google. There's got to be better coding models. Finally making the switch. Can anyone recommend models? Model catalog, huge comparison test, 39 models tested. Let's see if any of these are good. Every format, this gave the correct answers. Just a question of previous. Like Minstrel is one of these coding models. Let me see if this actually finished creating anything. Notes. I've analyzed the problem and the feedback. So let's approve this and see what happens here for this. And then I think I'm gonna switch over to a different. I'm gonna switch over to a different model and see what it can do. Let's run this command. And it's interesting because after it runs the command, it gets the output, but it doesn't tell me that there was an error and it wants to go in and fix it. There was an error. Cool. This is just stuck in this like this loop here. So let me do this. I'm going to do this. Let me go back to server. I wonder if I can just go back to how this was originally. I'm going to delete this. Actually, don't I have git status? Not a git. I thought I created git repositories, but that's fine. Notes, delete permanently, and the index I'm just going to, oh, it's not letting me go back to hello world. Whoa, what kind of broken junk is this? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete everything here, restart my workspace. Let's close out all these windows here, and let's just focus on trying to find a model on LM Studio that will actually work. All right, so I have, let's restart this. So by deleting all those files, what will happen is that when I restart the workspace, the Terraform template is going to recreate the basic hello world sort of just simple server example. And code server should be good to go. It should ask me to refresh this. Let's reload this now. And I'm going to have to go back in and do Cline. Let's reinstall Cline. Let's get rid of this. This is already running in the background. And now I need to reconfigure. So it still has settings for LM Studio. All right, so let's go now to LM Studio and let's go look at other models. I want code. I want to look at coder models. I want to see what will run on my, what the biggest model is that'll run on my computer. 32B. Really too large for this machine. This one's 10.6, 4 gig. UC coder, might be able to go a little bigger. All right, let's try this one. Yeah, I have to go back through and start testing out all these different models in LM Studio and figure out what is going to be the best one for locally running. I'm just so tired of having to pay for all of these subscriptions and API keys and all this stuff like all over the place. Like, I honestly, I feel like the money is better spent on me just having my own hardware. And God, what am I even paying for ChatGPT? I pay $64 a month multiplied by 12, so it's $768. So at that point, honestly, I could just go throw an extra video card in my computer if I could, well, one, find a video card, and two, if any of these would actually work better. So if you're just tuning in, what I've been doing for the past hour and change is I've been trying to get a local version of my development environment, which is running in something called Coder. And this is Code Studio, which is a web version of Visual Studio Code. I'm trying to get Cline to connect to LM Studio locally and build something. So I was trying to use one of the free APIs, but I can't get Cline to authenticate correctly. So right now I'm sort of stuck doing this with whatever I have locally. All right, let's see if this is done loading yet. Almost. All right, so I'm going to try out one of these deep sea coder models, see how that works. I was looking for something that would get me a little bit closer to maxing out my GPU. So I have a 3090, and this one is 33 billion parameters, so that might be a good place to start. Do, 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 do. It's funny, we've replaced compiling time now with downloading models and loading models into memory time and how long that takes. Finalizing the download, this may take a few moments. Let's let it do its thing in the background. I'm going to eject this model, download complete. All right, let's load this model now into memory. And now that we have this in memory, let's go here. We can now just replace, I think I just need to replace it with the model name info. Here we go. Deep sea construct. Let me go back here into the settings, and we're going to use deep sea construct. Oh, I like how, is it reading all this already from, I wonder if it's already reading that from my, from LM Studio. So, okay, I want you to create a simple note app that can read, that can list all the notes, write new notes, or let's do this as CRUD. Create, edit, update, delete new notes, and store this locally on in the browser memory, or whatever, local storage. Store this and use local storage in the browser for now. Modify the existing server.js and index.html as needed. The front end should be user-friendly, have a clean, modern design, and have an edit area for writing down the new notes. Sure, whatever. Please check out Studio Developer logs. Your debug went wrong. You may need to load the model with a larger context length. Oh, right. Okay, we had this problem before. Let's do this. Inference, load. The context length was 40. We're going to set this to 20. Setting high value. Let's do this as 15,000 and see if that will give me enough overhead for running this model. I'm looking at my usage right now. It doesn't seem to be that bad. Hardware, still detecting this VRAM. All right, so now let's go back here and retry this. I wonder if I have to go back and redo the no, it's, oh, here, it's prompting process. It's going through. I wonder where my activity task manager. I'm kind of curious what my task manager is doing here and how hard this is hitting my GPU. Well, I mean, at least it's utilizing almost 90% of my GPU. It's not using much memory and much CPU, but we'll say it is not fast. That's for sure. I do like the concept of Cline. Like I think Cline is where it needs to be. I mean, more or less. I think the problem is right now is just trying to find the right models that I can use locally that will let me. Honestly, a lot of what I've been doing is I've been playing a lot with Lovable right now, and what I wanted to get is a scenario where I can have Lovable. I want Lovable to be creating a lot of the prototyping stuff for me, but then when I run it locally, I want to have something like Cline go in and sort of help me tweak and fix things up, so I'm not always paying for all of the tokens in Lovable, and I can sort of reduce that and spread out where I'm investing my money. So let's run this command. And did it do anything? Client wants to execute this command. Okay. So basic implementation doesn't include error handling validation. Why didn't it create all these files? Maybe it doesn't like this model? Please know this response to this command to index. I'm sorry for the confusion, but there seems to be a misunderstanding. The open command is used on Mac OS Linux systems file. If you want to view your web page, you should right-click on the Internet Explorer. Well, it didn't really do anything. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm getting a phone call. I need to check. Cool. I totally forgot to unmute myself. I thought switching back to this would do that. Sorry. Hey Mike, how's it going? I was just saying hi to you and talking to myself for a while. Also, still getting back in the swing of things of how to switch between scenes and make sure that all this stuff mutes and works correctly. So thanks for the catch. Let's see here. So here's a very basic example. What did it create? Now let's add a GUI. The one thing that, let's define our note service. And view. What do I want to do? Not happy with any of this, really. Let's go back to this for a second, and let me go back into the settings here, and let's see if we change this back to something else. I'd given it an earlier API key, but I don't know if Google was going to start charging me for that. OpenAI does not support computer use. Okay, here's what I probably need to. Let's you to run models locally on a computer. You will need to start on Studio Local Server. Note, Cline uses complex prompts and works best with Claude models. Less compatible models may not work as expected. All right. We'll try signing up again, but it's not going to do this because it won't let me revert back to that. Let's see if create a note-taking app. I have a feeling the API request is just going to fail because I haven't been able to authenticate. And that might be just the biggest blocker. I just got to the point now where like I refuse to keep reinstalling development environments on my computer, and I've just been trying to do everything through Docker and trying to get my code environment just consistent and reproducible on my own server. So the downside is that I run into a lot of these problems where even though I can get Visual Studio Code to run in a web view like this, I can't get it to actually but I don't have any information about the last step you were working on. Please provide me with more information. I'm sorry, the confusion, but I don't have. Oh my god, I think it's going back in one of these never-ending loops. All right, let's cancel this and let's start a new task. Create a simple note-taking app for me using Vue and React. Sure. Let's see what it comes up with this time. Yeah, I got to figure out the right models I can run locally. I wonder if they're. Wait, I'm sorry for the confusion, but as an AI model developer, but they directly interact with your file system. Okay. Thank you for telling me how to do all this stuff, but God, I like how it repeats itself. Well, I mean, I guess at this point it's somewhat worth the money I'm spending on Lovable to get this working. I think I'm going to call it a day in a little while, and I'm just going to keep hacking away at some stuff on my own because this is not doing anything useful, honestly. Um, and I'll keep playing around with this stuff. I had sort of high hopes for this. I wonder if there's any other like LLM support stuff in here that, excuse me, VS Code extension for. Wonder what AI coding plugins. Rubber Duck. That's mostly what I use ChatGPT for. ChatGPT for Visual Studio Code. Generate code, edit code, explain code, generate tests, find bugs. What do I need in order to do this? An open API key. Yeah, my hesitation with these open API, like doing all these keys, is that like I'm afraid this is going to start charging me a ton of money. Like I've blown through a lot of money on Lovable just to get it to do some like basic stuff. AI assistant uses your code basis context. I wonder, here, let's get rid of all this so I can see what the hell's going on here. What's your favorite IDEs, best contexts, best models? I wonder if it'll let me use local. Let's install this one. I guess now we're just going to just test out some of these other AI tools. See if one of them works better. Sign in. Source graph instance URL. Sign up at source graph. Let me just go connect. Let me create a new account off screen, and then I will come back for this. Mike was saying in the same way I'm worried about one of these agents just gonna go nuts. Yeah, it's so what I did notice in no, I can't get back to this thing. When I was in Cline and in its settings, if I go back to using like Open Router or something, you can like in Open Router you can set up a limit. But what I find is the most frustrating with any of this with this coding stuff is that oh, here, Cloud Sign is. So this tells me what output $15 for a million tokens. The problem is that it just fails a lot, and then it gets stuck in these loops where like it can't fix something, then you're telling it to fix it, then it won't fix it again, and then you're paying for all of that mistake. And once the AI gets into a loop like that, there's just like no way to get out of it without having to like sort of stop it and reapproach the problem in a different way. Cool. I'm trying to create a new account. Wait, I want to continue with email. I'm trying to create a new account with source graph. There's no account associated with this. Right, great. So give me an option to create a new account. Source graph. Let me log in to source graph and see. No, wait. Why won't it give me an option to sign up? There we go. Gmail.com. I know there's no account associated with it. So email sign up is this. There's no account associated with this email address, and email sign up is disabled. Please contact SourceGraph for support. So annoying. Fine, I'll use my GitHub account. Oh, I do not want to pay for anything here. I'm just going to do this for free. Sure, save the item. SourceGraph, save. I'm just off screen here, just trying to get get this working. All right, let's do this. I can go back here now and finish up. Now that I've created an account, I will continue with GitHub. I'm logged in, and now what I want to do is create I need to get a key, so let's go back here to this extension. Add access, generate an access token. Local coder test. Generate out the token. Let's copy this and we will paste it back into the extension. All right, now we have this. Explain code, find code smells. That's funny. Generate unit tests. Oh my God, I can't imagine having AI generate unit tests. Like just creating unit tests on your own is like complicated, but then to like have it now tell you like, hey, sure, like its level of confidence is obscene. It's just going to create tests that it knows is going to pass, but I would like to have some sort of testing going on. Let's see here. See, these guys don't want to let you use a free model because everything is through them. But let's try this for a second. Build me a simple note-taking app that lets me see all the notes, create, edit, update, and delete notes, and use local storage for saving the notes. So what I'm curious about is, will this plugin now do? My assumption is that it's not going to create, it's not going to look, oh my God, the CSS is so broken on this plugin. Look at everything just jiggle like this. This stuff drives me nuts. All right, it's building out a lot of code. Mike saying he's found the unit test to be surprisingly decent, at least for Kotlin. I manually give it test names and stuff. Yeah, I haven't. I was using unit tests a long time ago. I want to say like 2 years ago. I started building out. Was it 2 years ago? It was a year and a half ago. I started building out a basic interpreter in C# using ChatGPT. I think it was like 3.5 at the time. And I was using unit tests, but I would go in and tweak the unit test. Create a new folder in your project, create 3 files, open HTML in your browser. All right, so I am less thrilled with this plugin because it's making me do all the work myself. But let's just see if this even created anything. Copy. I have an index page. I have, what is this, styles? Styles, copy, paste, and the last one was, I guess, the app.js. New file, app.js, and we're going to copy and paste this in. And now, technically, this should still be working because the server is running in the background. So let me do code weekend project SQL test. What I want is coder dash Jesse Cline test is the project. test note. Hello world. Nailed it. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. Well, I mean, it like did something, I guess. Is there any like console log output? Unexpected token. Let me refresh this and see what happens here. Interesting. All right, I guess it just has an error. So let's go back and let's see if it's smart enough to fix its error. When I run your code, I get the following error. This error, whoops, oh my god, you're going a little too fast here. This error typically occurs when the browser is trying to load a JavaScript file that is retrieving. Try a different approach. Noting a touch. Now create the files with the correct contents. I did all this. I wonder if touch will rewrite stuff? No. Oh wait, can I apply? Wait, what does apply do? Wait, are you still generating a shit? Okay. Alright, I get it. Ooh. Apply does work. Interesting. All right. Well, I would have to go to yeah, there's something wrong with, let me see if it can figure out, I'm still getting the error. Can you check my, server JS file and my project file to make sure I have everything I need? All right, so it doesn't see the server. Let me, oh wait, it's still doing its, no, dude, it's there. Like, what are you doing? All right, let it do its thing. Come on. Spit it out. Is it just redoing the same thing? I already have all this stuff. I can't stop it because every time it goes to a new line, it just pushes this down. Cool. Stop. Stop. All right, forget it. We'll just wait for it to finish spewing out all of its bullshit. Oh my God, stop, stop, stop. Yeah, this is this is the part that I absolutely hate with it, because like it just, well, I mean, this plugin sort of sucks. Clearly, like there's some issues, like just the fact that the CSS keeps jumping and all these things keep twitching, it's driving me nuts. Oh my God, stop. Why won't you respect me? Man, it is spitting out so much shit. I don't even know what to do, honestly. Are we done yet? Oh God. Apply. your server code here. I want this to be 8080 and npm install. I think I already have Express installed, but whatever. And clear node server.js. All right, give me my pop-up. Doesn't look like it fixed much of anything. Cool, it gave me a whole bunch of new errors now. Yeah, these things suck. Like, not only is this annoying, but like, it also has made me so lazy as a developer because like I really want this stuff to work. When I run the server, I get the following errors. As you try to fix it, only show me one step at a time until I tell you I'm ready to move over to the next step. Yeah, I wish that there was a way that I could use Copilot why is it still highlighted like this? Accept all. Oh, you know what? I bet you I didn't accept the changes. Why does it say it's running and then it dies? Sure, whatever. First, let's check your current projects. Let's execute. Wait, let me clear this. Let me create a new shell, and let's execute this. Confirm and run. Next. All right, let's apply. I guess it's showing me the differences that it's made, so I'm going to accept those changes. And now let's execute this and run the server. But nothing has changed here. So, okay. Done. What's next? Well, I think that was the key. I mean, a lot of this stuff just comes down to the prompting. Oh, I hear there's a delivery at the door. I think telling it to do this like one step at a time made this a lot better. Let's apply all these changes. Nothing's going to be changed because it's all the same code. Although maybe the root stuff, that might be. Let's upgrade. Oops, I don't. Oh no, I don't upgrade. You bastard! You look what they did. They tricked me by putting the upgrade there. All right, accept. I bet you now doing this at root might fix things. Execute, confirm and run. But I am not holding my breath here. No, it looks like the same stuff. Let me go look at the network for a second and rerun this and see. Why won't this load the style? It did load the app though. Huh. I don't know. Well, all right, at this point, I'm just going to call it a day and work on some other stuff off stream. But to Tomorrow I won't be able to stream because I have to go out and set up my new office. And I should be back on Thursday. And that is a wrap. So thanks for joining. Good to see you, Mike. And yeah, I will be back soon.